And of course, the Conjuring movies, one, two, three, and four, I think, also had these objects. No, instead of the couple destroying the objects and burying them, they hide them in their museum, and that is very dangerous because whatever you do, there is an attached evil spirit there. Even if you sprinkle it with holy water, exorcise it, the mere fact that the object has been used for the conjuring of evil spirits, it's already related to it. The only way really is to destroy it so that what we call the sigil is the connection between the spirit and the object, is destroyed.
Thanks again for tuning in to Armor of God, and as always, I hope all of you will learn a lot from this one. I'd like to start this video by sharing this case study with you. And I know many of you are nurses or medical specialists, so I thought I'd ask, if you don't mind sharing, whether you've experienced something like this too.
You know, hospitals never really sleep. Now, I'm not talking about patients and family members. I'm talking about the building, the rooms, the hallways. Hospitals never really sleep. Yeah. And according to countless nurses, nursing aides, staff who've worked the night shift, neither do the things that remain in the hospital after the living depart and the living leave. Yeah. So if you're going to go visit your loved one in the hospital today, or you're planning a hospital trip, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to have great staff for the most part. Everything's going to go well, and you're going to have, a healing experience. You will. But when I worked in the hospital, strange things would happen. There's a quiet rule that many healthcare workers learn early. And you know what I'm talking about if you work in healthcare. Don't linger in empty rooms, right? Now, I'm not talking about when you need to take a break and you just need to have some peace, do a little bit of meditation because, you hear the activity in the other room. I'm talking about, those empty rooms where maybe the best death didn't just go down, or, oh gosh, that's the room things always happen in, or that room that's now in a closed wing that sometimes people would take breaks in, but weird things go on in there, right? That's what I'm talking about. So we're not talking about, the most recently vacated bed and the room that has a lot of activity and great light coming in the windows. And no, I'm not talking about that room. So we're talking about that part of the hospital hallway or that room that always has that dark corner, or the call lights come on in that room for some reason, and there's no other room that has that glitch. We all know what room that is. Yeah, we do. We have nurses across the country, across the United States, probably the world too, for decades sharing all these similar stories and accounts. And it always seems to connect with these empty rooms, empty hallways, parts of the hospital that aren't getting a lot of activity and energy going in and out, in and out. It's like a stagnant room, really. So what do we see? We see these rooms that are empty for maybe hours or days, and something that maybe a patient had a very unusual death in that room, and then all of a sudden, days or whatever, there's unusual things that can occur. That has been reported. Hospitals are liminal spaces. Now, what does that mean? These are thresholds between the living world and whatever comes next. Think about it, like all the babies that are born there, all the new, young, bright nurses and doctors and staff that are just there to help people. And then, of course, all the families that come in to wrap the love around their loved one. So there's a lot of like light and positivity that comes in there. And there is a lot of dying that happens there too. So it's a very liminal space. And think about it. Thousands of people die in our hospitals every year. There could be pain, fear, confusion, or unfinished business. Yeah, there's a lot of energy residuals there. And now, again, for those of you that are like, oh, this is so hokey, I'm just talking about the what ifs today, right? Yeah. So first we have residual energy. Now, those of us that believe in these theories, this means traumatic or intensely emotional events can imprint on a location. So it's like a recording that's stuck in the atmosphere that continually is on a loop replay. So might someone hear sounds or actually see something? But it's like when you see, or you've heard people report seeing like a soldier walk across a field and the same thing happens at 6 o'clock every night. That's like an imprint in time that you're seeing over and over again, but not everyone can see it. Yeah.
And although this clip from Father Winston doesn't really address what the nurse talked about in the last clip, but it will help us understand why curse objects, or objects that were used diabolically before, need to be destroyed. Here's the clip in full.
The evil spirit has a relationship with the object. We call that infested object. It's an infested object, right? It was an infested object, and the evil spirit has connection with it, and it remains in that place, in that object, for its intention is to affect all the others that may be living in that house. That is in the previous stories of, let's say, Amityville horror movies, and that was it, no. And of course, the Conjuring movies 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think, also had these objects, no. Instead of the couple destroying the objects and burying them, they hide them in their museum. And that is very dangerous, because whatever you do, there is an attached evil spirit there. Even if you sprinkle it with holy water, exorcise it, the mere fact that the object has been used for the conjuring of evil spirits, it's already related to it. The only way really is to destroy it, so that what we call the sigil is the connection between the spirit and the object, is destroyed. Think about this in analogically, but in a positive way. When the supreme pontiff dies, the fisherman's ring is destroyed, right? And that's the tradition. Once they certain that the supreme pontiff is dead, the Carmerlengo would now destroy the fisherman's ring, so that it cannot be used by anyone again, because that ring is very particular to that supreme point. Now, that same thought is connected also in this case. The object, the infested object, now has the sigil of the evil spirit. So the only way to break it is to destroy it. If you not destroy it, it may still be there. Now, but okay, look at this. It's not only in the object, but also in the persons who use the object. So even if the object is already separated from the original users, the spirit that was conjured is connected both to the object, the infested object, and the person, the persons who used it, and also the possibility that the new occupants of the house can also be affected by it. I remember a story. I think it was Father Gary Thomas, the exorcist, that made mention about this. Where in the house, the infested object that was used in a ritual was not destroyed, but was cemented inside the wall of the house. And then when the new owners came and there were manifestations in the house, the priest that came to do deliverance did the deliverance. But for a while, the house became quiet, then it manifested again. So they were thinking that perhaps there was something in the house that is connected with the spirit. And they started to because they will not destroy the house. No, they will not destroy the house. So I think they use an instrument to detect if there were crevices in the house and something was in the crevice. And yes, they discovered that there was something in a crevice that was cemented, covered. So until they removed that place, until they removed it, the hauntings continued. And then after they have removed it and did another what you call this, another purification of the place, then that's the only time that the haunting stop. So yes, as long as the sigil is there, the connection would be present. Because the person, it's a human being, the sin, the spirit used the person, and the person used his body to commit the grave sin. And therefore, there is now this connection, no, between the spirit and the human person. And now, when the human person dies, the the spirit is still attached in a certain sense to the body. This is also true why, you know, I'm sure you have heard this, that a confession, a sincere confession, is better than 1,000 exorcisms. True. So a single confession is better than 1,000 exorcisms. Yes, that is true. But there's always a but there. And when we do a good confession, the soul is cleansed. We still need to do an exorcism because the devil is attached to the physicality, right? The body. So you need to do an exorcism of the person because it is attached to anything that is material in him. So that is the case. So yes, the soul is free, but if the evil one is attached to the body, then the things will still happen. We discovered this in many ways. Persons where the amulets are inserted like a microchip on a person. No? So the person went to confession. So the person was being harassed and everything. Went to confession, but still experienced harassment, and they could not explain it. The person said, "But I have destroyed everything: amulets, talismans, books, esoteric books, and everything." So he has renounced everything. Yes, he was true about it. He renounced everything. But he did not know that his, I think, grandfather, or grandmother, or father, when he was a young kid, had an amulet um, inserted under the skin. So that is still there. And until we discovered it, and that it has to be removed, until the person asked that it be removed, only then did the harassment stop. So you say, but the person confessed. Yes, but attached to the person. That is that is where it is now. The spirit is working through that amulet that is inside the skin of the person.
And the best example I can give you of this is when someone does something like this. And Father Martins, during our recent interview, talked about how when one does something like this, they're actually forming a relationship with the spirits that would eventually infest the doll.
Whether you like it or not, you're giving the demons permission to harass you because you find them entertaining enough to be curious about them. And even if you didn't have that curiosity, the fact that you're in relationship with the house is already enough, because you see, they're summoning him and they are in relationship with the house. When the demons are summoned, the demons are in relationship with the house and the space, and you're in there as well, and you're also in relationship with the same. So now you've brought yourself upon a situation where you are connected with the demons there. You are connected with that which is summoned. It would be no different than if I let in a dog with rabies into the house. You might be doing your own thing over there in the corner, completely oblivious to what I'm doing. You may not even be aware to what I'm doing. But that dog with rabies, in addition now to being in relationship with me, he's also in relationship with you. In other words, he can attack the both of us. And even though you had no idea that this was going on, but that's the nature of relationship. You let in an unknown, and the unknown comes at you.
And speaking of inviting unknown spirits, let me share with you another example here.
This night in particular, it started out like usual, like the heaviness in the air that comes with this. Honestly, I had that kind of feeling that something was watching me from the corners, which I do get a lot. Whatever, my husband had fallen asleep on the couch, my daughter was asleep, and I was the only one awake. I was in the kitchen cleaning up when the hallway light behind me flickered, which was nothing new because he likes to play with the lights all the time. I say he as in Z-O-Z-O. But then that's when I hear my husband's voice, and he's like, babe, come here. And I'm like, okay, he's awake. So I turn around and I go down the hallway a little ways, which I turn around the corner to my living room, and I expect to see him like sitting up. He was still asleep. So I froze, and I'm like, maybe it came from my kid's room. I peek in there and she's asleep and it's not anything in there. And then as I'm standing there trying to figure out whether or not I should go grab a knife from the knife rack, I literally hear my husband's voice come from behind me. He's like, babe, come here. So I spin around. My heart was pounding so fast, it hurt, dude. The kitchen was exactly the same, but the hallway was now just very slightly darker. Like something was standing there blocking the way. So I'm slowly backing up, not wanting to turn my back on this thing, and I back all the way up to the couch where my husband is, and I'm like shaking his shoulders, not losing eye contact with this thing. Not even eye contact because I couldn't see its eyes, but like I was looking at this mass, okay? And I didn't want it to I don't know. Okay, so I'm shaking my husband, I'm trying to wake him up, and I'm like, honey, wake up, please. There's something here, you need to get up right now. All of this in like a hushed kind of whispery tone because I did not want to wake up my kid and freak her out too. When he finally woke up, he groggily sat up, and I could tell he was irritated and he was about to say something to me about waking him up so late. But I saw the exact moment when he locked eyes with what I was seeing. I forgot to mention that by this point, as I was shaking him, the mask kept getting darker and darker and just more dense. So now instead of just like a little minor, small, almost see-through black shadow, it was a fully dense, like black. It felt suffocating. So I noticed when he noticed, and he shot up. So he grabs me and pulls me onto the bed with him and just is like holding me. I don't know what the he thought that was going to do, but he's holding me on the bed, and we're like looking at this thing, and we both started to hear what sounded like the closet door from the hallway creak slowly open. Neither of us were breathing. We were just standing there, or not standing there, sitting there on the bed like, bro. Just as I'm about to look up at my husband and ask him, what are we going to do right now? Like, what should we do about this? We started to hear heavy pounding footsteps come boom, 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 boom down the hallway straight towards our door. And once the footsteps made it to our door, we saw little shadows underneath, and boom! I don't mean our door, sorry, the living room entrance door, right? Okay, so our living room used to be set up at our old house that was like, it had a door that you could open up to get into it, okay? It's pretty much removed from the rest of the house. Like it had like a little window where you could see into the kitchen, but it was a door, you know what I mean? Whatever, okay, context. So we start to see little shadows under the door. And then without the door handle even turning or anything, it just goes boom, like somebody pushed it open without turning, like angrily fucking just shoved it open, and it like popped out of the thing, out of the door handle thingy, the lock just popped open and the door got shoved open. My husband, I guess I can trust him in a fucked up scenario because he scooped me up like Princess Peach and booked it. He ran into our daughter's room, grabbed her also, so he had me in one hand, her in the other hand, and we're just running down the fucking hallway. I'm like, I can run. And he's not even listening to anything. He's just going. We got the out of there for the night. Ended up moving out of that house, obviously, but the thing keeps following me. It's attached to me. It's not his fault. It's not my daughter's fault. It doesn't matter where we move. It's going to follow me wherever I go.
Just a little bit of information to share here. It all started after she did a seance with her friends before. And then the other one, as Father Winston pointed out earlier, that thing is attached to her. So wherever she goes, unless she gets rid of it the right way, it will remain with her. And that will be all for the video this time. Thanks everybody for your continuous support of this channel. Anyway, if you have the time and it's not a hassle for you, please consider subscribing to our new channel, Catholic Explained. And you'll find the other clips from my interview with Father Martins there. And if you like what we do and you're willing to support us, please consider doing so on our Patreon or PayPal. Thanks again, everybody, and may God bless you.